welcome to this episode of my Women Empowerment Wednesday show. My name is Jessica DSB. Enjoy this episode.
Awesome. Happy Wednesday. It's Women Empowerment Wednesday. Are you still with us, Taylor? Because I think you are frozen. You'll be back. So welcome. It's Women Empowerment Wednesday. I'm super happy to be with all of you and our very special guest. Before I get to introduce him, who am I? My name is Jessica. I am an entrepreneur. I am a 2-time Best International Selling author, and I am the founder of the Women Empowerment Wednesday show. Very happy to be with all of you today. Oh, we lost Taylor. I'm sure he's going to be back. If you're going to be watching live, please type live in the comments so I know that you're with us. I love to read all your comments, interact with us, interact in the conversation. I want to share a bit more if you're just seeing me for the first time. What is this Women Empowerment Wednesday show all about? It's a weekly Facebook Live that I started over a year ago when the first wave of the pandemic happened. So what can we do to add some sunshine and positivity in people's lives? So we started a Women Empowerment Wednesday show, come live every Wednesday with a special guest, and mostly targeting entrepreneurs so we can forecast them what incredible work they do, have empowering, touching, and inspiring conversations, and really to support each other, right? Because when we support each other, we lift each other, we rise together. Yes, hello Irene, hello Marie-Claude, yes, live. If you're gonna be watching replay, type replay as well. And so this show has been going on for more than a year. All the episodes have been uploaded on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much to my videographer, Lance, that did such a nice job. And if you want to be part of this Women Empowerment by Jessica DSB community, I'm inviting you all to be in the Facebook group, Women Empowerment by Jessica DSB, where all the videos are out there as well and all the content that I share every single week. Thank you to each one of you to be part of that community. Keep growing. Let's get it to 1K. Yes. So these conversations, empowering, touching, inspiring, not only with me and the special guest, but also to bring upon a movement where you can bring those conversations in the lives of the people that you care about, your friends, your family. And so where is our special guest? I'm alone here. Where is Taylor? Let me see what is going on with Mr. Taylor. Bear with me, ladies and gents. Let me see. There's a little technology problem. Hi, Irene. I love that you're consistent and being with me almost every single week. Much love to you. I am waiting to see where is our special guest, Mr. Taylor. Let me see what is happening. If I should stop this live video, come back. I am not sure. In meanwhile that I have you guys on, Mother's Day is coming up. Woo! Happy Mother's Day in advance to all the mothers out there. So much love to all of you. It takes a lot of time, love, compassion, determination to be a mother, to be there for the kids every single day. And I really want you all to take a moment and be proud of yourself. be proud with what you do, because I do believe we don't take enough time to say thank you to all the mothers out there that are consistently taking care of the children. And so happy Mother's Day for this coming Sunday. For those that have been following me, I have 2 books that I'm co-author inside. And one of them is 365 Empowering Stories. This book is a collection of small stories, which is so amazing because it can be read by just anybody. And inside of that book, you'll get all these empowering, inspiring stories that you can literally read one story a night and then, have a story each day. This book, I am collecting all the profit and the funds for my little sister that has cerebral palsy, that needs right now this machine to oxygenate her cells so I can give her more strength with her muscle tone. She is in a wheelchair, but we are really, my dad and my stepmom are really doing the best they can to really give her as much tools and services to help her grow and be able to use all her muscles like you and I would. Cerebral palsy is, it affects your muscles, and there's different levels to it. My sister's not the worst case, thank God. But there's a lot of investment for equipment and machines that needs to be invested to take care of her. She's 11 years old. And so all the money that I'm collecting for this book, my goal is to collect $10,000. I have yet collected about $2,500, a little bit more than that. And so I really, it's dear to my heart to collect the $10,000. I have a GoFundMe as well. If you can, help me with that. I'll also post the link. If everybody gives a little bit, will I get to my goal? But again, the book is such an amazing gift for your mothers out there. It's inspiring, empowering. Message me to get your copy. It will be my pleasure to sign it. You also get a bookmark that me and my daughter create. And so if you want to just share this video, just message me. Anything helps. And I really thank you in advance. Thank you to all of you that bought a copy already. All of you that made donations to the GoFundMe. I am so grateful. So Mr. Taylor should be hopping on soon. I'm going to be talking another minute with all of you. Thank you all for your patience. Let me see. Irene, Marie-Claude. So what else can we talk about? We're going to talk about women empowerment. Of course, this is a women empowerment Facebook show, Wednesday show. But our special guest today, Mr. Taylor, has a women empowerment Facebook group. Oh my God. Maybe he's gonna be like, why are you talking to me about me already? Hopefully he's on in the next minute. But so yes, he's coming just in time. Yay! That is so awesome. We have to thank God for technology that we can do these Zooms, even though we live thousands and thousands of kilometers away, which is so awesome. So Taylor, you're muted and you are not. Yay! Welcome back. I was just starting to talk about you because you do have a women empowerment Facebook group. I'll get into the details of that. I want to properly introduce you, Mr. Taylor Made Speaks. Who is this amazing guy? He's a former military, army, police veteran, federal agent, over a decade of responding to domestic violence calls. And Taylor has taken his experience now to be able to help both women and men in relationships that are toxic and empowering them to return to self love. Wow, wow, wow. Welcome, Taylor. I'm so happy to spend time with you today.
How are you doing? I am so
I,
excited to be here.
I'm super great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that technology came back.
Absolutely.
And first of all, thank you for all your services that you've done for this country. Much, much, much appreciated. Taylor, can you speak a bit more about who you are and give us more details about what you do right now?
Absolutely. So yes, my name is Taylor Made Speaks. Look, there's one thing that I do. It's called action. I love it. Look, I am all about taking actions. I'm all about changing lives. Look, I can, it's great to have all the accolades. If I was to go through my past, people would be blown away. But you know what's so funny, Jessica, is that I don't really talk about my past. Talking about your past is a good thing, but I don't talk about the things that I've accomplished because at the end of the day, is that really important? No, I want people to remember me by, man, that guy said something and it changed my life. So that's what I am all about. I mean, we can go down the list. Yes, I have two books. One is on Amazon called The Time Is Now. So I am an author. One is on the way. Former police officer, former working for the intelligence community with the CIA, the NSA. Like we can go through all of those accolades, but one thing that I want people to remember me by is that I am here to help you change your life today.
Yes, yes, yes. Today. Love it, love it, love it. So tell me about, helping men and women exit toxic relationships.
Oh my goodness,
Mm,
this is such a powerful conversation because,
mm,
the times we're living in, especially during the pandemic, we have a
yes.
lot of people that are in relationships that either are exiting, some of us are not exiting because, whether it's because, we have bills we have to pay, we have a child together, we have things that are joint, right? And so how do we face how do we handle those kind of situations when we're living in a one-bedroom apartment and the other person is getting on your nerves? Maybe there's a lot of friction that's going on, right? Some of us have been with each other and guess what? We really wasn't supposed to be with each other, but for whatever reason, we came together, and because of our lives was busy and we were traveling and we were going to work every day, we didn't get a chance to really know each other. Right. But now that the pandemic has happened and we're living with each other, we come to realize that, you know what? I have nothing in common with this person. And not only that, we argue all the time. And then sometimes with that argument comes physical contact, abusive words, contact, right? Mentally abusive, maybe some toxic situation. I always say people like to call other people, oh, you're toxic, right? I don't believe in you as a human being is toxic. I believe that people do create toxic environments. I do believe people create toxic situations, but I don't believe that we have the authority to diagnose somebody as being toxic. So pretty much what I do is I help people exit out of toxic relationships. How do I do that, Tailor Made? Well, I give people a strategic plan on how to exit out of their situation. And that's why. Now, you might say, how are you qualified to do that? Well, my years of being in the military, military members, we are known for strategic planning, right? And not only that, police officers, when we go to a domestic violence call, and I know you're probably going to get into that, so I don't want to jump the gun, but we have to have a strategic plan on how we're going to de-escalate the situation.
Yes, yes, yes. So it will bring me to that topic. I want you to share, I know now we know what you do now. I want to go back to that period of your life. How was it and what made you want to do what you do today?
Absolutely. Well, the thing is that how was it? Wow. It was a journey, I can say. Some situations turned out fantastic, right? Some situation, it was just a misunderstanding, maybe communication a barrier, right? And sometimes misunderstanding when it comes to communication, it leads to anger, right? It leads to this person don't care about me, hurt, resentment. And so going to some of these incidents when I was in the police field, we are taught to de-escalate a situation, right? A lot of times you'll see a police officer approach a situation in a calm demeanor. Now, what you see on TV, what we're seeing on TV, is other parts of the situation. And that's why I'm not quick to judge. You have to know, and they taught us this in police academy, the whole totality of the situation, right? You cannot just get a snippet of it, right? So usually when I approach a situation, I approach in a calm demeanor, right? And that's why we who as first responders, whether it's police officer, firefighter, or medical, we're not frantic, we're not enraged. So usually two individual is going at it. Now, how do you get into the situation and then separate the two? And that's what our training was, right? Our training was to get in front of the situation and then separate the two, right? And now when you separate the two, you have to get their side of the story and get the other side of the story, and then we have to make a decision, right? And sometimes I will say when it comes to domestic violence, majority of the time they don't press charges, right? For whatever reason, right? They don't press charges. And as a former police officer, we want the person to press charges because we're seeing that this woman has gotten beat up by her husband, beat up by their boyfriend. But because they won't press charges, there's nothing that we can do. Now, here is the good thing, right? As a former police officer, I was located in the state of Virginia. They call it the Commonwealth. What does that mean? That means that the Commonwealth have full authority to take over. That is
wow.
So that means when I go to a domestic violence call or a 911 hang up call and I see a fight, an argument, and say it's not in progress when I arrive, okay? But because if I can identify a bruise or a scratch on an individual, because of the Commonwealth of Virginia, we have full authority to make an arrest. Period. Point blank. You don't have to wait on the individual to say, we don't have to ask, ma'am or sir, do you want to press charges? No. When we come in, we see a mark on this individual. This person don't have a mark. And here how this goes. If both have a mark, guess what? Both get charged.
Wow.
Both. Okay. So that's how my experience have been. But like I said, I have responded to really serious domestic violence where the boyfriend is over the house of the woman that's cheating on her husband. I've been in situations like that. I've been in situations where it was a 911 hang up and they're arguing. A neighbor called the police to come. I've been in a situation where they're physically fighting on top of each other and we have to break up the situations. So it's been, like I said, it's been a journey, and some of it has turned out great. Some of it has turned out bad.
Right. It's a very emotional topic for me. As if you haven't watched the episode where Taylor invited me to his Facebook group, I invite you to go watch it because I go deep in my story of my experience with domestic violence. So every time I hear about those kinds of stories, it really gets to my heart, especially with this pandemic. Like I've been hearing so many things left and right, and it really breaks my heart. This is why I want us to have more of these conversations, to talk about it, to support each other. And so I did ask you what made you, do what you do today, and you shared a little bit, but I also want to talk about more of, right now with this pandemic, these women or these men that are actually stuck in that one bedroom, and what do they do? What would you tell them?
Right. So, the easiest answer to say, leave, get a divorce, walk away, right? But that's not, like I said, it's an easy answer, right?
Yeah.
But that answer is not for everyone. But for those that answer resonate with, then I would advise you to leave, get a divorce if it's toxic and it's unhealthy or it's dangerous, right?
Right.
But for those that are in a confined space and the situation is getting toxic, I would advise to separate in the home. Right. I've shared this with one of my clients. To maybe you can't go to a separate room, right? But if you do have a 2-bedroom, right, maybe that's where you need to take a break, right? Some people can go outside. Maybe if you're working from home, say both working from home, but you're kind of on top of each other, well, maybe one person works outside. Sometimes I'll take my laptop, although I'm not living with anyone, but I'll take my laptop and go outside. It's a change of scenery, change of environment, right? And so maybe one work inside, one work outside. So you have that separation, right? So you're just not on top of each other. Sometimes it's to just go for a walk, right? You have to have a because we have routines, right? The routines just can't be eat, sleep, wake up, and I'm staring at you in your face, right? So it can be different things. You guys take turn, go for a ride, right? Because we can't travel, we can't, go on trips with our friends or girlfriends, and we're probably not going into work, but you just need that me time to yourself. Just because you're married or just because you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean that you don't need time to yourself. Some people might disagree with that. I believe that a lot of people have lost themselves in relationships, right?
Yes.
And I'm a firm believer that spending time with your family, spending time with your friends, and spending time with yourself is very important, and that should be discussed upfront within the relationship. But have a divider. Maybe it's to buy a shower curtain. You know how you put up a shower curtain and a curtain, and you divide that what do you call it? That open space, or that bachelor apartment, right? Because you need that me time, right? You're still in the same house. There shouldn't be no argument. It's not like where you're going, it's nowhere open. You're in the house, but you just have that kind of divide so you can just spend that time to yourself. So that's one of my advice that I would tell somebody that feels that, it's frustrating. They're in the same home, is nowhere to go. And how do you have that separation? And here's the thing. If you're separated in the home for an hour, then keep that hour. Right? Don't say, oh, it's an hour and then the other person is going over your spot in 15 minutes. No. This is an hour. This is my boundary. You're over there, I'm over here. Let's just decompress and let's gather our thoughts and then come back together for lunch or for dinner.
Love that. Love that. Somebody was telling me last week, she makes an appointment with herself. So she actually puts an alarm in her phone, let's say 11:30, and she knows for the next 15 minutes, it's an appointment with herself. So for 15 minutes, she'll do something she loves. Can be reading, can be meditating, go for a walk. I love that idea.
That is awesome. Look, and another thing that you can use your what do you call it? Your Google, your Google or your what's that other thing that talks to you?
Alexa.
Alexa. So for me, Alexa speaks to me all the time. It tells me when to get up and stretch, go and get a glass of water. It's time for dinner. Your work time is almost up. So it keeps me on track. So yes, I totally agree, Jessica, that works 100%.
I love it. I'm going to read a few comments here. Irene, take ownership of your own actions.
Yes.
And contribution to the situation. There's two sides to the story. Of course, you said that. Stay true to yourself in the relationship and respect each other's space. I
Absolutely.
love that. Yes. Now, we know, and I was one of them, we know we are in a toxic relationship. There is abuse or not, verbal, emotional,
Yep.
and we yet have trouble, or whatever the case or the situation is, to say, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
What would you say to these women or these men that are watching today or in that situation?
Absolutely. Well, my number one question is, do you love yourself?
Mm,
That's the first thing that I'll ask. There's other things that ties into that decision making. Like I said, it could be embarrassment if you have gotten married and your whole entire family knows. A lot of
mm,
times we try to please other people and please our family. It could be because we have joint things together, and so we're trying to kind of rationalize. Is it worth leaving all of this, and how do I get out of this house? I have to buy this person out. Is this going to hurt my credit if I leave? What if this person stopped paying the bills? Then you might look at kids, right? Oh, I have a child with this person. I don't want my child to be raised with their father or their mother in another location. So we look at all these things, but I'm going to be honest with you. The number one thing, the reason why people stay usually in an environment like that, is because of something traumatic that has happened in their past history. Now, when we look at traumas, we think of something horrible, right?
mm,
Trauma could be your father was an alcoholic, and now you're with this individual that is an alcoholic. And because you love your father so much, you don't want to hurt your father. Same thing that you're doing with this individual that you're in a relationship with, right? I knew a client that told me that how she felt left alone at the age of 9. Okay. And so the
mm,
individual that was abusive to her, she didn't want to leave him alone. You see, and so it's
mm.
connected. So here's the deal, right? This is give you a little insight on what I do. Okay. So, and here's the thing, Jessica, I'm a firm believer. Look, I don't mind sharing, because guess what? You can only do it the way you do it. I'm a firm believer.
Yes.
So you can imitate, you can copy. The tailor made, I wouldn't
Mm,
give that out. Why not? Why not?
mm,
So here's one thing that I do with my clients, right? Okay, so say for instance, somebody has gone through a traumatic experience at the age of 9 years old, right? But you're dealing with them now at say 39. Well, I'm not talking to the 39-year-old person. I have to go back in time to the 9-year-old person. See, this is where a lot of coaches miss the mark. Yep, I am calling out the coaches. That's right. This is because, see, I'm the person that cares about now, and I want to make change now in people's life. So here's the deal. Okay, so somebody had a traumatic experience at the age of 9 years old. Now, this is kind of common sense. Can the 30-year-old person walk away? Come on, absolutely. They're 39 years
mm.
old. They can pick
Right.
up and they can walk out that door. But what's stopping them from walking out that door is because you can't deal with the person at 39. You got to talk to and deal with the person at 9 years old. So what I do with my clients is I go into their life at 9 years old, and I'm talking to that 9-year-old girl that has been left and abandoned. And once I can give her the insight that it's okay and she don't have to protect that 9-year-old girl anymore, then she will be
Mm.
able to release that abuser that's in her life at 39.
Wow.
Powerful, huh?
Powerful. Love it. Yes, yes. We need so many of you in this world, but there's only one.
There's only one, but here's the thing. But here's the thing. This is what I love about life. See, I don't have a problem duplicating me. I don't. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem teaching other people to do what I do. I don't.
Mm,
Because guess what? There's room for everyone. Just like what
yes,
we do. You have a women's group. I have a women's group. I don't have a problem
yes,
collaborating and working together.
yes, yes. And I want to share that publicly. Taylor reached out to me, say, hey, let's do this. And I'm such the same. Like, I'm a strong believer there's enough space for all of us to succeed. We
Absolutely.
rise by lifting each other. So if we both have a women empowerment community, why don't we, do our interviews and support each other and be able to give more value to a bigger group, right? And so I really want to acknowledge you for doing that, reaching out. We did the interview together, and then you're on my show today. So thank you so much. I
Thank
love
you.
your energy. Love your energy. Irene says, wow, incredible. Marisa, hi, how are you? Says very powerful as I make samosas. Love it.
I
So
love it. I'm jealous, by the way.
I'm getting hungry now. So I want to ask you, Taylor, a question that came up before we talk about your Facebook group. When you had these calls as a police officer, what was about the ratio of men getting abused versus women? Because we know there's more women, but is there a lot of men out there that are in those toxic relationships where the role is inverse?
No. It's more women getting the abuse than males out there, and I think that I think maybe the reason being is because there's no father in the home with these men, so there's no how do you get taught? Who's teaching you, right? And so they're fending for themselves. They're dealing with traumas. When it comes to men expressing themselves, they have a hard time expressing themselves. It depends on your culture. For a man, we're told to be strong. We're told to hide our emotions. Don't show no emotions. Crying is for girls, right? And so all of these things that is built up, and it's playing out in relationships, is playing out at our jobs, is playing out. There are men now during this pandemic that is really crying out for help. But unfortunately, the person that gets the end of the stick, that word that you leave out, is the person that's close to them. So it's either the child or the spouse or the girlfriend.
Right.
And so I really believe that, when we're going to a domestic, like I said, it's usually the male that we're taking away, or not, because the woman is afraid to or don't want to press charges. And guess what? It's nothing that we can do, right? We will, take the report, and we'll, keep an eye on it. If it's like, say, for instance, the same officer's working that shift, he might do a drive by, a roll by, just to make sure that everything is, going good, and we'll maybe hover in that area before just completely evacuating that area, just in case they get another call. But other than that, there's nothing that we can do. But yes, to answer your question, it's a higher case for women.
Higher case. What can we do as a society to really come together? Okay. You understand my question.
No, absolutely. I think the same thing that we're doing for mental health, right? It's called awareness, right? And so I believe, it's few things. Let's just be honest. The word narcissist didn't go popular until a former president was called that in the United States, right? Let's just be honest. It just wasn't a word that was just loosely being used. Oh yeah. Oh, she's a narcissist, right? So narcissist and sociopath really, it was always around, but it wasn't highlighted that people now are getting educated on it. But what I will say is that we have to be careful of diagnosing people. We're not doctors. That's right. Number one, we're not doctors. So I can't diagnose. It's just like you're saying somebody is bipolar. Well, you don't have the diagnose authority to say this person is bipolar. Now, when they go through, when they seek medical attention and the doctor diagnosed them. So we have to be careful of that. But awareness is the key. So my thing is research what, being in a toxic relationship is. We have to educate ourselves. We don't know, some people think, when a man yells at a woman, it's normal. In some cultures, it's normal. So I believe that culture normalizes toxic situations and situations that we shouldn't be accepting in our life.
Like gaslighting, or is that what the right term? I never knew what it meant. It was a new term. Yes, I had experienced it so many times until I researched it.
Absolutely.
So true what you're saying.
Absolutely. So yeah, so we need to bring awareness to it. And like I said, we talk about finding somebody. Oh, I'm a matchmaker for relationships. Woo, 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 woo. And we talk about, okay, you're exiting out of a bad relationship. You need some healing. But who talks to the person that's in the middle, that's in the situation? Who talks to that person? Who helps that person that's crying out for help? Who can identify and see the non-red flags, right? Because guess what? If I come to work with a bruised eye, everybody's a toxic relationship expert at that point. Oh, that person is getting abused at home. But what about that person that's wearing long sleeve clothing and you can't see the bruise?
Right.
What about that woman that cannot weigh a certain amount of pounds and have to look a certain way and have to make sure she meets all the criteria that the person or guy that the person is put in a situation, or else she or he faces the consequences? See, we don't see those toxic things, right? So
Right.
It's all about being awareness. See something, say something. I mean, that's been going around a lot, right?
Yeah.
And excuse me, and maybe be I'm not going to say be cautious, but be diplomatic. Like, don't call the person out. Maybe just show them love. Maybe take them out for lunch or coffee or Zoom. We doing a Zoom and just have a normal conversation, and hopefully that person will kind of open up to you, right? You just don't say, oh, it looked like you're wearing a lot of long sleeve clothing lately. What's going on? It's 90 degrees outside. Come on.
None of your business.
Absolutely. So it's just, we have to recognize that. And so I think, I don't know if you're going to ask me that question, but why did I get into this field, right? I don't want to jump.
Yes. No, please go.
But the reason why, because I was a police officer and I was getting those 911 calls and I was seeing those bruises on women and men, right? And so for me to get in front of it, how do I get in front of this? Well, what I'm doing now, right? Sounding the alarm. Hey, I'm a toxic relationship expert that can, and people are like, wow, I thought Taylor Made Speaks was a motivational speaker. Yep, I'm both. A matter of fact, motivation speaker, toxic relationship. I'm an author. Look, if you have many talents and many gifts, use them.
Yes.
There's a whole nother conversation. But absolutely. I used to help people with their relationship. I just never put a title to it, and I never put money to it. Now I put a title and I put a cha-ching to it. I call it a cha-ching moment. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm just dropping little gems. I'm sorry.
We're going to have part 2 and part 3,
But it's something that's needed. And so I developed, like I said, a plan, a strategy to help people exit out of that. So and this is going to get, and please, I'm very sensitive and very careful of triggering, but I have to say it like it is. Like, I think some things cannot be sugarcoated, right? How do I prevent seeing a woman or a man head get bashed in? How do I prevent that? Well, I get in front of it. Well, how do I do that? I sound the alarm. Look, I'm a toxic relationship expert. Here are some red flags that you might be in a toxic situation or a toxic relationship, right? Before it gets to that 911 call.
Right.
So that's my path. I don't want the 911 call. Let me be the 911 call, right? Taylor Made Speaks is the 911 person. Hey, I think I'm in a toxic relationship and I need some help. Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's break it down, because maybe you're not
Right.
in a toxic relationship. Maybe you are the person that provokes the situation. And throughout my process with certain people, they realize, oh my God, I'm the toxic one. Now what you do? You're coming to me to get out of a toxic situation, but you are the toxic person.
Right.
Right? So that's a whole nother
Mhm.
eye opener, right? But
Yeah.
I love that aha moment. I am the one. Now I need to work on myself. Absolutely, you do. Yep.
Yes.
The first thing you
And
need to do
I
is some counseling.
and there's so much help out there. And I want to be clear on what you just said. You want to be proactive before that event happens. And believe me, I've experienced it. You never thought it
No,
would get to that moment, right? Yet it does, and thank God I'm alive. I'm fine. But especially here in Quebec, it's been on the news, passed away, like deceased, so many women. So if somebody's watching today, I'm really, really hoping that you open your heart to this conversation and you want to share it to other people. Oh my God, we can get onto this conversation for 2 hours. I don't want to take 2 hours of your time. I want to jump on, you'll get some final words, Taylor, but I want to jump on into your Women Empowerment Facebook group, why you created that. It's such an amazing community. Congrats.
no, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm very creative. I love to create different things, and I move. There's no announcement. I just do. I don't make any announcement. I
Wow.
do the shift. I think about everything, because at first the group was I call it a unisex group. It was male and women in the group, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, I thought of certain things, and I decided to make this decision to fully, majority of my followers, and I don't have a problem saying this, this is the facts. Majority of my followers are women.
Mm.
And I know specific age group. I know specific um uh uh um uh, uh, how should I put it? Single mothers, living. I know it to the T, right? Because you see the
Mm.
data, right? And so, one thing that I sat down and I thought about, and I said, man, my mother is a single mother, and she gave me so much. She gave me so much. And my father was never in my life, although I met him once, right? But she gave me so much. And I said, you know what? I want to do something for the women,
Wow.
right? And you know what? My mom didn't even know. She had no clue.
Yeah.
My mom,
Yeah.
they have no clue on the impact
Mm.
that has been happening on behalf of her. She has no clue.
Wow.
I don't say anything to her. I don't say anything. I did share this with her a few months ago that, hey, I did a woman
Mm-hmm.
group and it's on behalf of you, and
Wow.
and I shared this with her. I said, and there was a follower that said, man, I wish my son would do something like this when he gets older. Right. I told my mom that. And
Right.
she was just laughing, like not laughing, but just like in shock, like, really? Like, yeah. But it's because of her. So my thing is now
Wow.
because she has inspired me, because she has uplifted me. I feel now my way of giving back is to do the same. I'm not trying to change a woman. I'm not trying to
Mm.
tell a woman what to do. I am just encouraging and uplifting. Now, what I could have done is say, look, I am changing this group into a women's group, and the percentage of men, sorry, but I'm removing you. I could have done that.
Right.
Chose not to, because
Mm-hmm.
I want the men out there to see, not saying that they don't know how, but I want them to see how a man uplift women
Yes.
in the community.
Yes. Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Point blank. And for those that don't want to see it, guess what? I love this. This is my new saying now. Usually I'm very nice, I'm very vocal, but I'm not that, um, you know, forceful publicly. But look, TaylorMade has had some changes in his life. Look, here is the deal. It is social media, and there's a thing called unfollow. If you don't like something that anybody do, you can just press that unfollow and leave gracefully.
Yes, yes, yes. It's
Hey,
it. Simple.
it's free
Very
will.
simple.
It's free will. Same way like how you join, the same way like you can leave. This is a
Oh.
women's empowerment group. I am for women. I do help men
Mm,
too, but this group
mm,
is a pro woman's group. Men are
yes.
100% welcome. The ones that are there, I don't bring new
Mm,
men in the group. The ones that are there has grandfathered in, and if they're supporting the women, that's fine. It's a safe place. If they're not supporting the women, then I will have to step in and kindly remove them. Period.
right.
Point blank. No questions
Mm,
asked.
love it. I'm gonna read a few comments, Taylor.
Absolutely.
Kosi says, as a man, I think the work starts from our home. We have a responsibility to educate our children, our boys to respect the girlfriends, the sisters. Love what I'm listening to right now from this man, from you. Oh my God, Irene and Marissa wrote so much. Absolutely. Yes, well said, Taylor. Thank you so much for everybody that's commenting. I'm sorry I'm not reading all the
That's
comments.
okay.
I want to take every minute that I can have from Taylor and his amazing energy. You were coming to my next question, which was how important is to have a women empowerment conversation with men, right?
Oh, it's 100%. Yeah, absolutely is important. I think that, it's, and I'm not going to say I don't see a lot of men having a woman's group. A matter of fact, and let me just say this, okay? I do have people that are maybe feminists. That's out there, and that have vocally inbox me, and I have no problem. And they don't like what I'm doing. They think that I am overpowering women and keeping their voice silent because I'm a man. I've heard it.
Mm,
I've heard it all. Look, there's one thing. That I can say, is that the posts that I make that's uplifting women, they're freely welcome to comment on the post, which they have, and hundreds of comments, that they're loving what they're hearing. Okay,
mm,
it is very important, to show people, especially men, to answer your question.
mm,
Um, and this is not for everybody. I'm not saying my way is the way,
right.
but this is the way that I know how, because my mom has done it to me. And
Mm,
so by me opening my life and showing men how I uplift women, like I said, it might not be for everyone, and that's fine.
right.
But I'm showing how I uplift women, and I'm not asking for anything in return. It's a safe place.
Mm,
There's no DMs happening here. I
mm,
have to put all that out there. Um, and I am happy to see women winning.
right.
Period. Now, I do have a men's group. Okay.
Yes.
So for those that think, oh, TaylorMade now it's all for women, and he don't
Mm,
support men. I support men. I support the belief because I have three groups that's out there. So not only I support women, I do support men, and I do support believers.
mm,
So everything that I've experienced in my life, that what I believe, I'm actually doing it. It's action, right? So But we're talking about the women's group. I just had to throw that in there because there's
Yes.
oh, he's pro woman now. Yep. I'm pro women, I'm pro men, I'm pro youth, I'm pro animals, I'm pro everything.
Love it, love it. And I love that you're saying that, but I think it was clear to me from the beginning in your bio saying you're helping men and women. It's very, very clear. And yes, that's why I asked you. Most toxic relationships, when it comes to violence, it's women that's the victim. Yep. However, we can't not talk about men being victims as well. It's very important. And I always say, yes, I'm all about women empowerment, but there's space it's needed to have that conversation with men. And that is why every month I have a special guest that is a man, because it's so important to have these conversations with men. In the house here, I have it with my partner all the time. Irene says pro-life, incredible. Thank you, ladies. You're all awesome. So, Taylor, I usually pick quotes from random spaces, but this time I took the quote from your women empowerment group because you have so much gold nuggets in there. So, and I'll let you share about how to go to your page after. But the three quotes that I chose was, I'm choosing me now. Yes. And we talked about it at the beginning. So if you're just joining us now, please go back when Taylor talks about, do you love yourself? First thing. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And that's Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm sorry for not pronouncing it right. And stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you have outgrown.
Exactly.
Powerful.
Exactly. And that happens in a lot of relationships.
Exactly. One does a lot of personal growth, does the reading podcast, and the other doesn't. What happens? You're taking care of your garden. The other one has flowers. The other one has weeds.
I know.
Enough said. Enough said. I'll let you guys meditate on it. So Taylor, where is the best way to follow everything you're doing? How can people reach you?
Right. So the best way, and I'm going to make it so easy for everyone. The best way is to go to my IG page, Taylor Made Speaks.
Yes.
And in my bio, there's a link. Now, when you hit that link, everything is there, from my podcast to how to get my book to my Facebook group. Everything is there. One-stop shop. I love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So easy.
So easy.
So easy. Any last thoughts? Anything that's on your heart that you want to share before we exit today?
Absolutely. One thing that I want to say, and I've never shared this, so it's exclusive. When I was 22 years old, I was dating a 40-year-old woman. Okay. She didn't look 40, but she was 40 years old.
Wow.
Abusive relationship. When she had alcohol, she got very abusive with me, slapped me, all that stuff. I had the power to walk away. I was young. She's 40 years old. I'm young.
Right.
I'm a kid, right? I was on my own. I was in the military. I joined the military at 17. So, I was on my own. I was living my own life. It's not like I was living at home and you're 20 years old and you're dating this person. But like I said, she was abusive. And I'm so glad that I had the power to walk away. And some people don't have that power. But all I can say is find somebody that you can trust and share that information. Maybe you don't want to go to the police, and I completely understand, but try to share that information because, usually these situations don't end positive, right? And so for those that need help, you could reach out to me, Taylor Made Speaks, or they have a 1-800 number you could Google, but tell somebody. Tell
Mm.
somebody. And, like I said, by telling somebody can help you walk out of that situation that you're in. So, my last words, and I was in the shower and I wrote this down, and I use this at the closing. You have the key that you have given unto thee, but now have the power and to be free. And what that means is that a lot of times we give the other person the key to our home. We are the home, and they come in there and they disrespect you and they beat up on you. They spit on you. They run all over your home and do whatever they want to do and come in and out as they please. But I'm here to tell you that you are the onus of that key that you gave unto thee, but it's time to take it back so you can be free. I'm Taylor Made Figs, and I love each and every one of you.
Oh my God. Mic drop. Oh my God. I want to say one thing, because last week I had your good friend Karen on the show, and she talked about borrowing confidence. And when you're saying, when you don't have that power, when you feel powerless, you can actually borrow that power from somebody else. I think it's so powerful. So thank you.
You can.
Yes.
Absolutely. First of all, that's what we do.
Yes.
We do that. How do we do that? I'm a part of your group. So maybe I'm having a bad day, and guess what? I look at your content, boom, I just borrowed your confidence. It gave me a boost. Vice versa.
Yes.
We do that all the time. Absolutely. Karen is a good friend of mine. I borrow her confidence. She borrowed my confidence. There's no shame in our in our friendship. You need people.
Exactly. So have no shame to reach out to somebody.
Absolutely.
I so appreciate you. I so thank you for every minute here with our community here. Go on to Taylor's IG, go follow him, get all the empowerment that you get in this amazing group. And thank you for everything that you do for the women and men out there. Thank you. I love you, Marissa. So thank you again for everybody that was watching. If you're going to be watching replay, type replay. I want to hear from you. Absolutely. I'll be back next week. Much love and light to all of you, and have a beautiful Wednesday. Thank you.
If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share with the people that you love and care about. Jessica DSB.